G'day guys, as a part of celebrating the launch of the new Teleplantathic vertical garden product, I want to give you a free tutorial on how to make your own vertical garden completely from recycled materials, a solar powered vertical garden. So I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. Let's go. G'day guys, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a solar powered water recycling automatic vertical garden exactly like this one. So step one is you want to find a pallet. So when you're looking for a pallet, you want to make sure that it's a safe one to use. You can look out for this symbol here, which is the International Plant Protection Convention, and the symbol HT means it's been heat treated and it's safe to use. MB means methyl bromide, and that's a harsh chemical, so avoid those ones. So you can find pallets on Gumtree. You can also go to your local industrial area and just go have a look and ask them if you can have any of their pallets that they don't need anymore. So step number two is you want to then pull your pallet completely apart to make it easier to work with the timber. So to do that, you'll take your pallet, you'll find a nice flat surface and lay it down. Next, I found these tools work really well for pulling apart pallets. So what I've got here is a scissor jack. So that can actually slide in here and then help you to get this pallet apart without cracking the timber. Once you've got that into place, you want to wind it up. So just keep turning that up, and you'll see that this timber is now starting to lift up. So once you get it to about that point there, to avoid cracking the timber, you can stop about there and then slide this back over here and start again from the middle section. Now that that's starting to lift up, you can get your crowbar and start levering that up. So that's coming up here too, which is fantastic. Okay, so that's come right up there. So we'll take this out. Now we'll try a little trick. We'll whack this back down. Yes, and you can see that these nails have popped up. So now you can simply take these out. Once you get your pallet pulled apart, you'll get these lovely lengths of timber to work with. Step number three is cut them up and sand them down. So this is the frame that we're going to build, something like this. So I've got the measurements written out here. So we've got the two upright, the long lengths at 1,145 mil. So you have two of those. We've got 5 at 500 mils through here. And then we've got 2 at 300. And then we've got 2 at 420 mils, which are these lengths here. And then we've got 1 at 330 mils, which is what the pump is going to sit on, going across here. So you can see the more you start sanding it for an old timber pallet like that, they clean up really nicely. So you can see that wood grain starting to come out. So once you cut them all up to size, it's a good idea to paint them first to protect the timber before you screw it together. See how nice that timber's starting to come up. Beautiful. So now that you've cut all your lengths up and you've painted it, step number 5 is to screw it all together. So we'll just take it in here and put it on your workbench and start assembling it in this shape. So you see I've cut a 500 mil length here. Next, we want to cut some wire mesh. So we want to cut it at 525 mil width and 505 mil length. So let's go do that now. So just get your wire mesh and secure it on some sawhorses like this. So you just want to cut that there. So mark your spot and then get ready to cut. Do that with an angle grinder. So once you've cut it to the dimension you want to get these sharp edges off as well. So now I've got my grinding blade on and I can just take these sharp edges off. So now we've got this cut, it's nice and smooth, no sharp edges on it. We can take it over and put it on our frame. So once you've got your frame built, this is going to slide in here like that. And what we're using here is these little copper U-clips. So they're going to help clamp it on. So I like to mark it out and then just put it in. So now that's all attached there, you've got a nice secure frame and you've got something ready to hang your pots on. So next we'll get a bit of PVC pipe like this, was just some that I had laying around. So it's recycled PVC pipe and it's 150mm dimension, and you can cut it to 450mm in length. Once you cut it to the size you want, you're just going to glue these end caps on. You'll get a primer and a glue. So you put the primer on first to clean the pipe, so the glue will get a nice clean seal. Make sure you do this in a well ventilated area because glue is fairly strong and smell. You want to be fairly quick with this too. Roughly measure out 145mm to cut out of the top of the PVC pipe. Once we've marked out our 4 points, we just drill into each of those 4 points. So now that we've got our holes drilled in, we can actually cut it out with a jigsaw. So I've just roughly marked in a line to follow from each of those holes. So now I can put the jigsaw in and cut the top out. Okay, so once that cuts out, you can actually put that back in here to create a bit of a false bottom, because this is going to be a wicking pot as well. This will be a drain as well as a pot plant. So next you want to turn that upside down, work out where you want your drain point to be, usually somewhere in the middle. I've got a 25mm spade drill piece, and I've got a 19mm to a thread of a plug, which is going to go in here and it's going to create a nice drain point for my garden. We can put our thread piece in. So that's just going to go in and screw in nice and snug, and then we can silicone around that as well to make it even more secure. So once you've siliconed around the edge there, just wet your finger and smooth that off. So that should create a nice seal there. We'll also do the same thing for the inside of it. So once you've got your silicone in there and you've got that fastened, secured, you can actually put a little bit of fly screen on the top there as well, and that'll just add an extra filtration layer. So I like to put that in and then just put in one zip tie to hold it in place. So you can see that this has got a little raised platform, so this will actually form the wicking water holding section. It'll fill up and flow through down here, and we can also put this back over the top as an extra filtration layer. This piece that we cut out here goes back in on top, and that's going to act as a false bottom. So once that is in, we can actually line this with some chucks, which is going to act as a wick. So it means that this is going to be the soil layer, that we've got a false bottom here, and then the water will actually sit in underneath and fill up a little bit before it overflows. But these wicks will dip down into the water and help keep this whole section moist. If you like that video on building our DIY solar powered vertical garden, then make sure you subscribe and stay tuned and check out our latest product, the Teleplant Vertical Garden.